In this video, I'm gonna show you how you can create a visualization with multiple box plots. So let's first of all create a new Excel file. So we make a right click here on desktop and we can say new and want to choose here an Excel file. I just call it multiple box plots and then we open already this file. And once we have opened this file, then we can already generate some random data. This is possible in Excel with the rand formal function. So as you can see here by the description, this function, so the rand function, with this function we can return a random number which is greater than or equal to 0 and less than 1. And this is evenly distributed. And you can also press the tab key on your keyboard to fulfill this formula function automatically. And as you can see, I do not have to give in any formula arguments or parameters. I can just click on enter. And what you can see as well is every time I jump into this formula and press enter again, I have a different value. By the way, you can also click here with F2 key on your keyboard into the cell in order to refresh the data. And what we want to do now is to copy this cell, and then we can jump down. We can say that we want to generate, for instance, 100 data points like here. And I want to do the same also for column C. So not only for B, but also for C. And you can select the whole column just by pressing the Control key and also space. Then you can copy it, and with Control V you can paste it. And as you can see, now we have two different data series. So for instance, we can compare two products, product A and product B. And I also want to format those columns or the data series. I can just select them, and after I can click here on comma style, so I can format it with a thousands separator. And there is also another shortcut, by the way. You can also press Control, Shift and 1, and then you can do the same like here with this click button comma style. And I want to say that I do not want to have 2 decimal places. I want to have fewer, maybe only 1, or I can also say with this click button I want to have 3. As you can see, we now generate our data, and now we want to compare both data series. And this is possible also with the box plot. You can just select everything with Control A, then we hand over to Insert, and we can click again on Box and Whisker. And yes, you can see we already created our box plot. And this box plot is not only containing one data series, but also containing another data series, as you can see. And then we can, of course, compare both data series. So in terms of the locality of our data, we can see where is the minimum lower or where is the maximum higher. We can also compare here pretty well the median of our data, but also the arithmetic mean. This is also quite interesting. And we can see that the box of data label A, which we can also format with the legend, then you can see it even better. Then we can see that the box is bigger for data series A than the box of data series B. And here a quick reminder, this means that 25% of our data is located here in this first box, and also 25% of our data is located here. And then we can say, of course, for data series A, that we have a wider range between the first and the second quartile, but also between the second and the third quartile than with data series B. And we can also claim that the interquartile range, so the range between the third quartile and the first quartile, is even higher than the interquartile range of our data series B. What else can we do with this chart with multiple box plots? Well, we can also add, of course, an axis title. So we can say here that those are the both products. And we can also add another description or an X title here for this axis. There we can say those are percentages. For instance, we can say this is a margin of a company or something like. Of course, you can also add some grid lines. This is as well possible here by clicking on this plus icon. You can also say you do not want to have those grid lines. You can remove them. But also you can say, I do not want to have primary major horizontal grid lines. I want to have a primary major vertical grid lines. Can be also interesting, or also minor horizontal grid lines. Well, you can also hand over to the chart design. There you can also change the colors, of course. You can say, I do not want to have the palette 1, I want to have the palette 2. So with the blue colors, and then you can compare it in that way that you compare the blue to the gray box. And you can also say I use a different chart style maybe, so with different colors or with a gray background. So there are a lot of things possible, as you can see. Another important point is also the quick layout, because this is also interesting since you also have the specific values calculated, also visualized in the diagram. So as we can see here with this layout 2, we can see not only the boxes, but also seeing the specific data points. And there we can see pretty well that the minimum of our data series A, so with the blue box, there the minimum is way smaller or lower than the minimum of our data series B. The same also in the other direction with the maximum. We can see that 75 is of course bigger than 70. As you can see, we can also use this Boxplot chart for multiple data series.